Hi besties, welcome to Star's Kitchen, where wholesome eats are made. My name is Star Nadi, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make the Nigerian Ofe Akwu, also known as Banga soup. Ofe Akwu is a flavorful Nigerian delicacy that is made from palm nut fruits and is typically enjoyed with a variety of foods like rice, pounded yam, eba, and swallow in general. If you're interested in how I make this dish, please stick around. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back, and if you're new here, welcome, and please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notification so that you will know when I upload a new video. Now enough talk, let's get to work. The first ingredients I'm going to be using is fresh goat meat. This has already been washed and prepped. And also I'll be using cow meat, also known as beef. Next will be mackerel, popularly called Titus fish. I'll be using dry fish. I love to use this a lot because it adds an underlying native taste to the soup. I've also soaked up my stockfish to use. These were soaked ahead of time because it's usually very dry and takes a lot of time to cook, so soaking it ahead of time reduces the cooking time. Now to the main ingredients: palm nut concentrate. This is gotten from palm nuts, but since I cannot find palm tree where I live, or even the nut, so I use this. It's actually very good and gives you the same result. Now this is scent leaf, also known as nchwan. I'm using the frozen one because that's the best I can find. This leaf is non-negotiable when it comes to Ofe Akwu because it improves the aroma a lot. Next, I'll be using a medium-sized onion, seasoning cubes, and then the secret ingredient, banga spice. This is a mixture of spices. Ehuru is the main ingredient here, and so many other spices. Scorch bonnet pepper and ground crayfish. First, I will start by seasoning my fish very lightly with just salt and seasoning cubes. Give it a good stir to make sure that the seasoning cubes is well dissolved and incorporated into the fish before I transfer it into the air fryer to fry. Now this is an optional step. You can choose to use this fish just the way it is or fry with oil, but I choose to air fry this because I try to make our food as wholesome as possible. Now I'm going to let this fry at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes. And while that is frying, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my meat. So I'm going to transfer all the meat into the pot, season it lightly with seasoning cubes and salt plus onions, and give it a good stir. An important point to note is that I'm not adding water at this initial stage. I'm just going to let the meat cook by itself and produce its own water for about 7 to 10 minutes. This step is very essential because it allows the taste of the seasoning to get into the meat. Now this is 10 minutes after. You can see how much water that the meat has produced in itself. So now I'm going to go in with the other ingredients. I'm going to go in with the dry fish first and the stockfish. Notice that the only water I'm going to be adding to this is the water from the stockfish. I'm going to go ahead and add my onions and give this a good mix. You don't want the dry fish and the stockfish floating on top, so you want them well immersed in the water that is going to be produced by the meat. And I'm going to cover this and let it cook for about 25 to 30 minutes. While that is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my palm nut concentrate. So now I'm going to be mixing this up with warm water. I'm going to be dissolving it in warm water. The warm water is to help to dissolve this completely because it is an oil-based mixture and it needs to loosen up. So you need to use warm water to loosen it up to the consistency that you need. This still didn't give me the desired consistency, so I'm going to go ahead and add more warm water to it and further mix it until I get my desired consistency. Now that the texture looks like what I can work with, I'm going to transfer it into my pot and transfer onto a stove. Now notice, I didn't pour everything into my pot because usually the very last part of this concentrate has something that feels like sand and you don't want to incorporate that into your food. Now I'm going to cook this on a very low heat until it gets to the boiling point. What you do not want if it starts to boil is to have it look like this. At this point, you can't use this. You need to continue to boil this until the water and the oil completely separates. This is what you want it to look like for you to know that it's ready for use. Now I'm going to set it off the stove and go back to the meat. At this point, my meat is fully cooked, or maybe about 90% cooked. So it's time to mix up the concentrate and the meat. I'm going to go ahead and introduce the concentrate into the meat. Give it a good stir before adding the remaining seasoning cubes. At this point, it's time to add my remaining ingredients. I'm going to go with my Scorch bonnet pepper and also going with my ground crayfish. And then to the main ingredients, the Banga spice. I'm going to be adding my Banga spice at this time. This introduces a completely different aroma to the food. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a good mix. And don't forget the fish. I'm going to go ahead and add the fish into the food at this point. You want to add the fish when you still have time to boil it so that the flavor from the Banga spice and other ingredients would get into the fish. I'm going to cover this up and allow it to cook for an additional 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I'm going to go in and give this a gentle stir. Don't stir this as vigorously as you used to because you have fish in it now and you don't want it scattering. Now I'm going to go in with the last ingredient, which is the scent leaf. Like I said, this leaf is non-negotiable when it comes to Ofe Akwu. So I'm going to cover it and cook it for just 5 minutes. I don't want to overcook the scent leaf, and after 5 minutes I'm going to stir it gently once more and take it off the heat. And there you have it. Our delicious Ofe Akwu is ready. Let me know in the comment section if you're going to be giving this a try and what you'll be having it with. And if you're still here with me up until this time, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more recipes like this. See you in my next one. Bye.